We're going to move to the next room, please. Don't forget, you're always welcome to come back. Right, everyone, this is Robert Louis Stevenson's wife's bedroom. Right? Here's another picture of her here. Her name is Fanny Van Der Griff Stevenson. You also saw a picture of her downstairs. Fanny, she comes from San Francisco, California, in America. Now, as you can see her room, it's all built with California redwoods, all imported here for building this house. And it's her idea to bring it down here to remind her of her home in California. And not only that, it doesn't have any problems with termites. I think that's why it lasted very long here in Samoa. Now have a look at that corner. That gown or that dress, that's an unfinished dress made by Fanny, and it's an original dress. Now imagining wearing that in this heat with the black jacket and the boots. Oh, that must have been very hot. Traveling luggage or the traveling trunks on the ship in those days. Imagining carrying it today on the plane with you to your country or wherever you just came from. Now that will take all your kilos, alright? That's 23 kilos, everybody. Alright, just the trunk itself. You'll have to pay extra money to take that with you. Now everyone, the locals on the wall there, the pictures or the photos, they are all Fanny's servants, help Fanny with cooking, cleaning, rest of the chores inside the house. If you're wondering what happened to his wife, she went back to the States and she died in Santa Barbara, California. Her wish is to be buried together with her husband, Robert Louis Stevenson, at the top of the mountain. So her daughter, she came back to Samoa in 1915 with her ashes, so she was cremated. She's buried together with Robert Louis Stevenson. That's the good news. They're both together up there. I have learned so much about Fanny, and Fanny deserves to be together with him. She sacrificed so much for Robert Louis Stevenson. Fanny had to live in Samoa in this very hot climate, raised her children in the Samoan way of life, depending on plantation and fishing. Fanny had to live there because of taking care of Robert Louis Stevenson's house. And she had to sacrifice all that because of her love for Robert Louis Stevenson. And her only wish is to be buried together with him. And her dream came true. She's together up there with him. Right? So that's the good news. They're together up there. Right? They had a very long relationship. They've been married for nearly 9 years before they came to Samoa. So that's a very long marriage. So they love each other very much. There's always a lot of rumors that Robert Louis Stevenson mightn't have a local girl around, you know. But everybody, nothing happened, all right? All right, I wish I was there in that time. There will be a lot of these Stevenson's descendants, all right? But of course, that did not happen. All right, everyone, furniture's in this room here. These are all replicas. Some are reproductions based on photographs. And that's about Fanny's room. Right, when you're ready, we'll go straight there. There's another room. I got about 8 rooms to show you. Whoa!
So she must be a...
Yes, or she did a lot of sewing. Well, she had to. There were no clothing shops. Yeah, in those days.
The Chico. Yeah. That's cool.
Oops, sorry. Right, come in, everyone. There's still a lot of room. They're very nice, spacious, and big rooms. Good for this kind of climate, especially the high ceilings. You know, you don't feel hot in these rooms. They're actually nice and warm. You don't need the aircon. Right, everyone, this is Isabel's room. Isabel is Fanny's daughter, the stepdaughter of Robert Louis Stevenson. There's another picture of her there on the wall with the local men. And she's in the middle, wearing the long velvet dress. All right? Yes. So imagining wearing velvet in Samoa. Must have been very hot, super hot. Samoans, they call her Te Wila. Te Wila is very common in Samoa. That's the national flower of Samoa. It's a red ginger plant. You can see it all growing around our gardens outside. She loves to plant. Not only that, she's got red hair. So someone said, let's name her Tewila. Her hair is red and the plant is also red, or the flower is also red. All right, now remember, their names were very hard to pronounce for our people back then, and that's why they gave them Samoan names. In fact, Isabel here loves her Samoan name. Tewila was a very good artist. It illustrated most of Robert Louis Stevenson's books. She's Robert Louis Stevenson's secretary. When he doesn't feel well, he would dictate to her. She does all the writings, and that's why they were very close. Remember the family photograph that I showed you in the first room? She came with her husband, all right? The man with the parrot on the shoulder wearing the lava lava. Now, George Strong, the husband, he was a very alcoholic man. He was never around, and they had a lot of problems even before they came to Samoa. Not only because of alcohol, but also with money. What happened? They got divorced in Samoa. George Strong, the husband, went back to the States. He remarried. Tewila, she died as a widow. She never had any other children apart from her little son, Austin. Her son, Austin, died before her. Austin died very young, 46. That's because of a heart attack. Tewila, she died in 1953 when she was 94 years of age. And that's a very good age, isn't it? I mean, still is today. So she did well, and I think she had a good life. All right. So that's what happened to Tewila. Tewila is buried in the States. If you're wondering if there's any original in her room, there's actually two. Right? The charcoal iron on the trunk and also the trunk. Now look down the bottom of that trunk. You'll see the name R.L.S. Stevenson, Apia, Samoa. Now imagining carrying that with you on the plane today. Alright, so you'll have to pay extra money to take that with you. Alright, so that's about Tewila's room. Furnitures, these are all replicas. Alright, we'll go to the next room, everyone.
We've been recording.
Alright everyone, welcome to Robert Louis Stevenson's mother's room. Okay, as you can see, it's the biggest bedroom inside the house. For a very lucky mother, she has her own sitting room on this side here. Now if you look at the windows, imagine a beautiful view or a clear view in that time. Because there were no big trees out there, so they could actually see the water, the harbor, all the ships coming in and out of Samoa. I reckon she would have the best views inside the house. But in fact, she had all the best views in the house. She had the bed, the biggest bedroom, the best bed, the best view, but she was still complaining. Right? Well, everyone, I think it's because of this climate or this heat. And I don't blame her. She's from Scotland, very different from Samoa. The only reason why she lived here for 4 years because of her son, Robert Louis Stevenson. Remember, he was her only child. She was always worried about him because he was a sick man from a young age. He was actually Mama's boy. Wherever he goes, Mama goes along with him. All right? Now, yeah, well, especially if he's the only child of the family. When he died, because she actually outlived him. All right? So when he died, she went straight back to Scotland. All right? She wanted to stay in Samoa afterwards. She got used to the weather and everything, the people. But everything around here reminds her of her son, Robert Louis Stevenson, and she couldn't live with that. That's why she had to go back. Right? She had a lot of difference with Fanny. All right? Her mothers-in-laws, all right? They had difference with Fanny. This is because of Robert Louis Stevenson. All right, because of the taking care of Robert Louis Stevenson, they had their own differences, all right? So, but after a while, they lived together. They got to know each other better, and they were very close afterwards. But all of a sudden, Robert Louis Stevenson died. No one would ever think that his mother will ever go to the States and visit family and her children. But she did. She did because of that relationship when they were here in Samoa. Right? That's the good thing about staying together in one family. That's why we Samoans stay together with our extended families, because you have that special bond to stay together. All right, everyone, his mother went back to Scotland. She died 3 years later after Robert Louis Stevenson died. She died because of pneumonia, and I think it's heading back to the cold in Scotland. I reckon she should have stayed here and run this beautiful house. But unfortunately, that's not what she wanted. She wanted to go back to her homeland in Scotland. Right, if you're wondering, there's an original in here. Yes, one, the orange chair on that corner. Right, I actually got the information about the chair. It belongs to Stevenson's mother, and we actually got it here from the museum by the Stevenson family in Henderson Museum. Alright, here's another beautiful picture of the mother up on the wall here, and some of the photos of the family taken in Honolulu, Hawaii. Right, everyone, the next room we're about to go to, it's a bit small for all of us, so I'm going to explain it here, and you can just make your way through and have a look inside. Right, the next room belongs to Austin. Austin is the little boy we saw in the picture downstairs. He is Isabel Otewila's son, the step-grandson of Robert Louis Stevenson. Austin came to Samoa when he was 7 years old. He hangs around with local kids for most of the time, and we learned that he could speak the Samoan language fluently. And maybe because kids picks it up very quick. Robert Louis Stevenson also tried very hard to learn the Samoan language. In order for him to get ideas for his writings, he needs to learn the language. So that's why he was very eager to learn our language. Within 4.5 years he lived in Samoa, he managed to speak our language within 2 years. Amazing. I've seen and I've known people who lived in Samoa, foreigners who live in Samoa, more than 30 years, but still only know the basics. Stevenson, it only took him 2 years to learn this language. Amazing. He wrote a short story for the children of Samoa, and that short story, it's called Whanguaitu, in English, Bottle Imp. Alright, if everybody has seen the children's movie called Aladdin, the genie in the bottle, exactly the same story. Beautiful book for the children, everybody. Alright, and also Austin here. Austin loves playing with bows and arrows, shooting breadfruit trees with local kids, pretending to be Indians. Alright, also he's got a lot of blame games there, like jigsaw puzzles and dominoes, so when you make your way through, you're going to see it. He went back to the States, and remember, he died before his mother Isabel. That's because of a heart attack. He did not have any children. That's why there are no descendants of this family. Because Robert Louis Stevenson is the only child of his family. He never had children. Austin here is the only child of Fanny's family. Austin did not have any children. It just stopped there and it just died out. It's a very sad ending for this family. But his writings lives on forever. Treasure Island will live on forever. I know his legacy in Samoa will live on forever. I think the babies are the boats that will carry on his legend. Alright, so that's about Austin's bedroom. So everybody, we can go inside and have a look. Because we're going to have to carry on. Another tour is about to start in another 5 minutes. We don't want to be clashed together because you won't be able to hear me. The next tour guide is very loud. Alright? Right, everyone, please move a little bit forward so we can have everybody. Thank you very much. All right, everyone, this is their medicine room, family hospital, especially for Robert Louis Stevenson because he was very sick. He never had a doctor here in Vailima. Everyone, this village is called Vailima. The doctor lives in Apia, the city of Samoa, or our town area. Fanny, his wife, was always worried about him because it takes a while for the doctor to come up here. Remember, all roads were rough roads, imagining the transportation. So Fanny, she had herself prepared. All right, she was actually a practice doctor before she came here. Fanny was the one that imported most of the medicines in this medicine cabin here. I'm sure they're all expired by now, right? So Fanny took care of Robert Louis Stevenson most of the time. This is his sick bed here, a reproduction of his sick bed when he doesn't feel well, and he'll come and lie down here. Now, there were no indoor plumbings in those days. The bathrooms were all separate from the main house, and at night, they might have used bedpans like the one over there. There's a waterfall pool down the mountain. Same trail that I showed you beside the house to go up and see that tomb. But 5 minutes walk from here. That's where they do their hand washing. That's where they sometimes shower as well. The trail to go up and see Robert Louis Stevenson's tomb, it's known as the Road of the Loving Heart. In Samoa, we call it Oleala Olealofa. That road signifies the loving hearts of the Samoans towards this man, Robert Louis Stevenson. Before he died, he gave our people 2 wishes. One, that is to be buried right at the summit of that mountain. Second, he wants to die with his boots on. And Samoans laugh at him, ask him why. He said, "My boots that I've been walking around here in your grounds are the same boots that I want to die with." Meaning, I want to die with the Samoan people. That shows how much he loves and cares for our people. And that's why the locals fulfilled his wishes. Both of those wishes were fulfilled. When he died, many Samoans weren't agreed to bury him at the top of that mountain, far away from his home and his family. They had to go up to his wife Fanny and ask her why. "Fanny, why do we have to bury our beloved Tusitala far away when we can just do it right there?" All right. Because everybody, this is Samoan way of life. We buried our loved ones right in front of our houses. It was very difficult for them to bury him away from his home and his family. Well, Fanny said, "This is my husband's wish, everyone. And if you people can fulfill that for him, I'll be very much appreciated." And that's when everything settled because of Fanny's words. Samoans respect his wife as much as they respected this man, Robert Louis Stevenson. Then they said, "Okay, we have to work as quickly as we can." Remember, there were no antibiotics in those days. The body has to be buried within the next day. They had to send our messengers out to our people at the very same day to let them know that their beloved Tusitala has passed away, and who's ever willing to come and help clear that track so they could take that body up there. Fanny was so amazed of how people felt for her husband in a very short time he was here. They came presenting a lot of fine mats, pigs, tablecloths to show their appreciation of Tusitala's work in Samoa. And they have to work at the very same day. They had to cut down all the trees, all the way to the top of that mountain. They work all day and night clearing that path using kerosene lamps in those days. And the very next morning, they lined up, carried that coffin, that very heavy coffin, hand to the top of that mountain. Now you imagine, that walk takes you about 45-50 minutes one way. Now to go up and see the tomb. Imagining back then, it takes longer. That shows how Samoans felt for Robert Louis Stevenson, and that's why the road to his tomb, it's known as the Road of the Loving Heart. If you ever go up there and see the tomb, you're going to find it. It's facing his homeland, Scotland. You're also going to find there's a banner on his tomb of his very famous epitaph that he wrote before he passed away. And it says, "Under the wide and starry sky, dig the grave and let me lie. Glad did I leave, gladly died, and I lay me down with a will. This be the verse you grave for me. Here he lies where he longs to be. Home is the sailor, home from sea, and a hunter home from the hill." Beautiful words, isn't it? Very touching words. This poem, we actually sing it in the English and Samoan version. And I usually take maybe 7, 8 tours a day, depending on how many people coming through to this museum. And I usually sing it with the Samoan version, and I'm always in tears. Then I said to myself, I don't want to cry 8 times a day. That's why I don't sing Samoan version, everyone. But because it's a must for the tour guide to sing, it's all included in this tour. That's why I'm going to sing, right? Wow. So maybe one verse in English, and then maybe the 2 verses in Samoa. So I won't cry, all right? People don't want to listen to me, but I love to sing. I know you're all going to laugh at it if we sing it as a choir, because it's got all the notes in there, but I'll try my best to sing it for you, and I hope you enjoy it. So this is how we sing it, everyone. But before I sing, please do not put it on Facebook. All right, so here we go, everyone. Ooh. Under the wide and starry sky, dig the grave and let me lie. Glad did I live and gladly die, and I lay me down with a will. Samoan. Lalo le langi mafetu, eli ailo tunga mau, sao la o timali, o teta o tofia fia. Uatu siamoa uunei, uamanie mama lolelei, leali fola mainu mama, satuli mandu maileva. Explains you how he felt when he was here in Samoa. I know his body was here. His heart was always in his homeland in Scotland. As always, there's no place like home. Our people love him, mainly because they respected the Samoan culture and people had to respect him back. He's the only European that visited our people in prison back in the days. He gives them food and drinks and smokes and blankets. Now everybody, the families of all those prisoners came to help to clear that track. Right, everyone? he was also involved in the Samoan politics. He nearly got deported because of involving in the Samoan politics, but it didn't stop him. That's why the Samoans saw him in a different light. Samoan says he's the sweetest creation of God. Right? He must have been a very loving and a caring person for the Samoans to say something sweet like that for him. All right, so Robert Louis Stevenson has made a lot of contributions here in Samoa. He has put Samoa on the map, right? If you look at the world map, I don't think you'll ever be able to find Samoa. Maybe a little dot in there. But everyone around the world has come to Samoa because of Robert Louis Stevenson and this museum. Right? Robert Louis Stevenson is the sweetest creation of God. That's amazing funeral and the life of this very famous author. He was not just a writer, not just an author, but he made a very huge impact here. So that's amazing about Robert Louis Stevenson. Now we're going to go downstairs before I cry, everyone. We're going to show you the last part of the tour in the museum. This is Stevenson's dining room and the ballroom where they have their entertainment and feast with the local people and overseas visitors. And also in this very room is the room where Robert Louis Stevenson died. Right? He died somewhere on this side here. He was helping his wife Fanny outside the kitchen. He was mixing a mayonnaise for the salad dressing for their evening dinner. And suddenly felt pain in his head. He said to his wife, Fanny, do I wish change? Those were his last words to his wife. Fanny said to him, no, you look as usual. He collapsed outside. Samoans carried him, laid his body somewhere here, and a few minutes later, he died in here. He died in this room, December 3rd, 1894, when he was only 44 years old. He was very young, but did a lot of things in Samoa, and made a very huge impact here. The only original you'll find in here is that safe in that very corner. Very first safe seen in Samoa. Local kids were very scared of that safe. Robert Louis Stevenson told them there were ghosts and spirits and evils inside, to keep them away. Because that's where he put his money, jewelry, manuscripts, and all the important documents. Photos on the wall has all the information for you all below. You can read it while you're spending your time in the museum. Now don't forget, you're always welcome to go back and have another good look. Just remember the rules of the museum. So that's the end of the tour of the museum. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for visiting our museum. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope I explained it well. Please don't forget to tell your friends, families about our museum. Tell them to come and see Margaret. I'll be very happy to take them inside for a tour. All right, so you all have a great holiday, whatever you're doing here. Have a safe trip back to your homes. If there are any locals, you all have a good day, and I'll see you around. Thank you.
Hello.